I'ma keep it a bean. Stick to the script, every scene. This from last year, but they clean. Say to say, I'ma take something else, but it's a winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang, the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's good, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at it again with a brand new video. And I'm gonna keep it a bold break biscuit. I do not know what to say. How do I start? Where do I start? When do I start talking about how bad these Panthers are? I think we have to go ahead and admit right now that this Panthers team's problems do not start at quarterback. It does not matter who this team has at quarterback as this roster is presently constructed. This team, let's go ahead and admit, let's go ahead and be 100% honest with ourselves. Be objective here. This team is just not very good. If we saw any other team play the way we've seen these Panthers play against all these teams we've played over the past several weeks, especially this Colts team, especially that Redskins team we just lost to, we'd have a lot of very arrogant thoughts about those teams. So we have to be real here. This team is just not very good. And we really can't blame it all on not having Cam. Sure, having Cam here, having Cam in the game would make a very, very big difference. But we gotta admit, even Cam cannot cover for a team allowing 2 punt returns for a touchdown? 2! Not one. A guy had 2 punt returns for a touchdown. In the first 8 minutes of a game, a dude racked up 124 punt return yards and a touchdown. Within 8 minutes, that is unheard of. Nyheim Hines? We know the running game for the Panthers has been a really sore spot for this defense. Look, we all understand that we have the best running back in the league in Christian McCaffrey. But with the way our run defense is set up, every single team we face who has an active running back on their team also has a player who's about Christian McCaffrey's caliber, because we cannot stop any running back. I mean just any starting running back, but when the backup running back is returning 2 punts for touchdowns, is it about the whole team being scared of any player on the opposition whose position is officially listed at running back? Because Nyheim Hines is not a very good player. This guy is a backup for a reason, but getting 2 touchdowns on our guys on special teams is a problem. We know we've had problems on offense for obvious reasons. We know we've had problems on defense for obvious reasons. But when you have problems on offense, on defense, and on special teams versus a quarterback in Jacoby Brissett, who, let me just go ahead and remind you what Jacoby Brissett's stats were in this game. This man went 14 for 27, which is just over 50%, 119 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. This guy only just barely cracked 100 yards against us. That's the quarterback we just lost to. This is very reminiscent of the Redskins game we just lost. Look, man, it's hard to say that a guy like Jacoby Brissett is on the same caliber as Dwayne Haskins, but we've proven that teams do not need to have a quarterback to beat us. As long as you have a running back who's active with a pulse, that man will crush the Panther spirit. Marlon Mack, 16 carries, 95 yards, 5.9 yards per carry. He had a 1 or 2 yard touchdown there. He didn't kill us. Jordan Wilkins, I have no idea who this guy is. I won't lie to you. I do not know who Jordan Wilkins is. 9 carries, 84 yards. Can you believe that? 7 less carries, only 11 less yards than their starting running back? 9.3 yards per carry and a touchdown. It is very, very obvious what our weakness is. We understand the run D ain't that good, and the pass D hasn't been that great in recent weeks. Well, really, for a while now, honestly. But there's no point in passing when the run is working so well, and when the special teams cannot defend against a punt returner, a guy who's their backup running back. There's just great, immaculate blocking on these punt returns. These guys for the Colts field punts like that's the only thing they practice throughout the whole week. These guys were 6-8 before we faced them. We were 5-9. We were about equal in record. And I understand, look, I've kind of like soft-sold this. I haven't even gotten to this yet. But this is Will Greer's first game as a quarterback. The first time we're seeing Will Greer in this setting in an NFL game. We all know what we saw of him in the preseason. He was kind of scared in the pocket. Pressure really did shake him up. We understood he made some bad decisions, and he was a little bit shaky back there. But I will, to my dying day, defend this man Will Grier and say that this particular game, this one game here versus the Colts, was not on him. Now, his stats weren't really impressive. 27 for 44. He had 3 interceptions. It sounds extremely, extremely bad. We started this guy when everyone knew, literally everyone knew, that Will Grier was not ready to play in the NFL. If y'all been watching me for a while, you'll know that even before we drafted this man, and immediately after we drafted this man, I made video after video after video, especially recently, reminding you guys that my original thoughts on Will Grier was that he was at least 1 full year away from being NFL ready. And especially even more recently with Kyle Allen having more and more bad games, and I do mean horrible games from Kyle Allen, I've been saying, no matter what your thoughts are on Kyle Allen, Will Grier is not an NFL ready quarterback. He is not ready for the kind of play in the National Football League. From the moment we drafted him, he was always going to be at least 1 full year away from being NFL ready. But we still saw Panthers fans begging, pleading, just on 2 knees, telling the Panthers franchise to start this man Will Grier. We've seen enough of Kyle Allen. There's no way that Will Grier can be worse than Kyle Allen. We put Will Grier in the game. The guy goes 27 for 44, 3 picks against a bad Colts secondary. This right here is not a very impressive Colts secondary. These guys are really not all that good. Alright? Will Grier had a couple of forced passes here and there, but for the most part, we put Will Grier in here to throw checkdowns to Christian McCaffrey. I promise you this right now. We could have kept Kyle Allen in this game to throw check down after check down after check down to Christian McCaffrey. Look, I think I speak for all of us when I say I would love to see Christian McCaffrey get that 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yard receiving season. He only had to get 98 receiving yards this game and next game to reach 1,000 yards. He got 15 catches, 15 receptions, 113 yards receiving in this game. You only got to get like 80 more yards next game, and we're going to give the ball to Christian McCaffrey next game. Please believe me when I say that Christian McCaffrey will get his 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing easily. I'm cool with that. But what I'm not cool with is bringing in Will Grier, who we all understood was 1 year away from being even ready for the NFL, to get sacked 5 times just to check it down to Christian McCaffrey. Literally anybody, any quarterback in the league, not just starting quarterback, any backup quarterback in this NFL right now, even behind this pretty bad offensive line, can check the ball down to Christian McCaffrey. I thought we brought in Will Grier to test what he could do. We did not see literally one single thing from Will Grier. Sure, he forced a couple passes. That's what you're going to see out of a guy who was kind of a younger dude, a rookie, a 3rd round pick, a guy who at West Virginia was in the system where he read half the field, literally only half the field, and the scheme was very, very easy for him. If you watch what he played in West Virginia, there was a lot of receivers who were schemed wide open. That will not happen in the NFL so often unless you're a top tier receiver. And then we saw this man throw a high pass to DJ Moore, and DJ got injured. He had a concussion. He did not come back. That was in the first quarter. So we were without our number 1 receiver, a guy who is 3rd in the NFL so far this year in receiving yards. Why do you bring Will Grier in if all you were thinking about doing was getting Christian McCaffrey to 1,000 yards receiving? It makes literally no sense to me at all. It's hard for me to focus on any other detail in this game, and seeing this gross mismanagement of players makes it really hard for me to focus on other problems in this game. Things I've already talked about. Was the punt defense bad? Look, of course. It was horrible. Was the run defense bad? Of course. We've seen that over the past forever. It's been bad. And then you think about, look, the play calling on offense wasn't really all that great. I loved seeing us go for it on 4th down so often. If you want to test out what Will Grier can do, you have to go for it on 4th down. Look, season's over for us. We're playing for a draft position. It does not matter. Please go for it on 4th down. It does not matter. See what Will Grier can do. See if he can push the ball down the field. See what his talent is. And see what we have other than just DJ Moore. Curtis Samuel, how good is he? See what these other guys can do on the field, but come on, bro. What were we thinking? Putting Will Grier in this game to get sacked 5 times and then check the ball down to Christian McCaffrey 15 times. 15 of this man's 27 completions were to Christian McCaffrey. And how many of those passes do you think were from 5 yards or greater? You tell me. And how many of those 15 completions to Christian McCaffrey were from the line of scrimmage to minus 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage? How much did we really learn about Will Grier here? We set this dude up for failure. And I said this early, and I said this often. We will not learn all that much. I said we could learn something from Will Grier, but I think we just learned what we always knew about him. The dude's just not ready. This Colts secondary is not that good. And they got 3 interceptions on him. We put him into the fire, and come on now, bro. Why? Just why? Someone said to me on Twitter, they said they'd rather watch Cowboys games because at least the Cowboys lose with dignity. They might go down 3-31 early, but they might surge back to make it 28-31 or like 31-34, 37. They might just make it seem like it was a close game. If you just look at the scoreboard, look at the box score, say, oh, wow, Dak had 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he might have had a good game. This looks like a tight game if I only look at the box score. But these Panthers, losing by 32 to the now 7-8 Colts, who were 6-8 when we faced them, and we're now 5-10. Let me be real with you right now. 5-10 has never looked more beautiful. 5-10 means a top 10. It means a top 10 pick for this Panthers team. Y'all see Vernon Butler? That boy a fool. Hey, that boy Vernon Butler is a fool. I can't even lie about that. I cannot cap. That boy Vernon Butler is a fool. And I feel the same way, Vernon, bro. I'm frustrated too. You earned your spot on next year's team. You shouldn't have punched the man. You punched the wrong dude, my brother. But so far this year, you've proven to me that you at least deserve some sort of team-friendly deal for next year. I don't think you're going to get a very good deal from any other team in the league, given your first 3 years in the league, but we could use you. That's my thoughts on the game. What are your thoughts? What did you see? I know there's a lot more, but that's just how I feel about the game, man. I really can't go as deep as I really want to because the main points, I made them right there. But let me just know what your thoughts were in the game. Let me know everything you got to say in the comments below. And you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.